Hey, I know this walk ain't popular, but I follow where your light goes. I know it's you, nothing impossible. Connected to my armor, bro, shining like a light bulb.
YAHUWAH, who is Yahusha, Umamu Yahuwah. Shabbat Shalom, beloved family, all esteemed to our great and wonderful and powerful King, Yahuwah Yahusha, Barak Yahuwah. This is your beloved brother, Watchman Azar Yahu, coming to you on behalf of Yahuwah's chosen people assembly, Barak Yahuwah. And today we have for you another important topic, another important lesson that is well needed in our days, in these last days that we're in, because we will be faced with a lot of things in these last days. Rumamu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. The title is Fear Not, for Yah is with you. Rumamu Yahuwah. I say again, fear not, for Yahuwah is with you. Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Now, for some of you that may not know, the word fear not, sometimes you may see it as fear not, sometimes you may see it as do not be afraid. Still the same thing. This has been said over 300 times in the scriptures, in Yahuwah's words. Over 300 times in the regular 66 books. I mean, we're not even going into the book of Jubilees, Enoch, and those other books. But just the 66 books, this was said, well, 65 books. This was said over 300 times. Now, today we'll be going through these scriptures and dive into it to see why the Yahuwah said it. What is Yahuwah trying to get across? Why is this said so much times in the scriptures? Why does Yahuwah keep on have to be saying it over and over and over? Barak Yahuwah. So before we jump into that, we'll definitely go into Yahuwah's Palah, the Palah that Yahuwah taught us himself, Rumamu Yahuwah, Abenus Palah, Barak Yahuwah, found in Matthew 6, Barak Yahuwah. We'll be going over it in the Abri tongue, and then we'll translate it into English. Rumamu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Abenu Ba Shamayim, Kadashki Shamka, Malakutka Bua, Ya Ra'uka Asha, Al Aratz Khan Bashamayim, Natan Lanu Hayum At Laha, Bahazara, U Salah Lanu, Lahatenu, Ki Lanu, Salah Utam, Lahata Imkam, Kwara Lanu, Uparat Lanu, La Taha, U Yasha Lanu, Ma Rasha, La Malakutka, Shula, Haka, U Hakabad, Rukata Adonai Yahuwah Melekalam, Bahasham, Al Kal Shamut, Yahuwah Yahusha, Man, Barak Yahuwah. English. Our Father in heaven, called out or separated is your name. Your kingdom come, Yahuwah, your will be done or accomplished on earth, so it is in heaven. Distribute us the day covenant bread in the need, and forgive us for our crimes, as we forgive them for their crimes against us. Lead us not astray, and rescue us from evil doing, for your kingdom reigns, the power and the esteem. Exalted are you, Yahuwah, King forever. The name above all names, Yahuwah, who is Yahusha, Umamu Yahuwah, so be it. Barak Yahuwah. All right, now let's jump into it. So as I said, throughout the scriptures, the word fear not, do not be afraid has been mentioned over 300 times. Yahuwah has mentioned this over 300 times. There's a reason why Yahuwah has to keep on saying it over and over. There's a main reason. There's something that this can do to us. What can fear do to us? Fear can lead to what? Doubt. And then when doubt grows and becomes bigger, what happens? It causes crime, disobedience. If you allow fear to conquer you, then doubt will take over, and now you will no longer trust Yahuwah. So now you'll be disobedient. That's what happens when we allow fear to conquer us. When we allow the wrong fear to conquer us, not the fear of Yahuwah, but the fear of man or the fear of Hashatan, especially Moses Hashatan. When we allow the wrong fear to conquer us, it causes us to be not trusting Yahuwah. So we doubt Yahuwah. So in that, what happens is we don't please Yahuwah anymore. Because if Yahuwah says, wait 7 days, we only want to wait 2 days because of doubt, because of fear. And what do you think that's going to do? That's going to displease Yahuwah. And if we keep on allowing this to happen, well, you're going to keep on to displease Yahuwah over and over again. And he's going to keep on telling you, do not be afraid. And if you keep on not trusting him and be fearful, well, guess what? You're going to reach a place now where Yahuwah is going to not only be displeased, but his wrath can be kindled against you. He can forsake you for that reason because you are forsaking him. Remember, when Yahuwah says in his words, when you think you are forsaking him, you have only forsaken yourself. That's the thing with what most persons don't understand. We think we're forsaking Yahuwah, but we're forsaking our own selves. So much persons, Salakia, who are saying that M-A-N-Y word. I'm trying my best to refrain from saying it to you so much times. So, so much persons. There's a lot of persons that are out there that makes it seem as if Yahuwah can't do this without them. That it's my way or no way. Yahuwah can't do this without them. So when Yahuwah said that, when you think you have forsaken me, you have only forsaken yourself, which is so true, because at the end of the day, I've said this before, Yahuwah don't even need us to restart the earth. He could have done that a long time ago. But because he made a promise, before he even made a promise to Abraham, he made a promise to himself. He made that promise future tense. Like he went into the future and made that promise and now came back into the present. Why? Because he is time. He can do it. He knew this was going to happen, and he made that promise with Abraham. So he's keeping his words because Yahuwah is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. We know that. He doesn't change. I mean, if he had changed, oh man, we would not be here right now. We would have all been dead. I mean, I would not even be alive. My parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents would not be alive if he had changed. If he had changed, no one into this generation, in this fourth, third, second generation would not be alive. Only the first generation. Because if he had changed then only the first generation would have existed. The second, third, fourth would not exist today. So Yahuwah keeps on telling us to fear not. But what happens when we give in to fear? What are some of as anyone in the scripture gives giving to fear, like any righteous person? Yeah. That's why Yahuwah keeps on have to be saying it over and over. Do not fear, do not be afraid. I am with you. Even our righteous ancestors, as righteous as they were, I'm talking persons like Abraham and Sarah, Eliyahu, Elijah, Jeremiah. There are so much persons in the scriptures that were righteous, that were bold, brave, but yet even they were a bit fearful at times. Even they messed up. No one is too perfect. We're striving to be perfect. We're striving to be perfect. We're striving to be in that light of Yahuwah. We cannot be afraid. The enemy will use fear against us. That's why Yahuwah said in 2 Timothy 1, verse 7, for Yah has not given us a spirit of fear. Why did Yahuwah say that? Because fear is given today. Fear is being pushed today. But who is pushing that fear? If Yah did not give that spirit of fear, if Yah is not the one pushing fear today, then it must be only one other person, Hashatan, the enemy. Yah gave us a spirit of power and of love and of sound mind or self-control. So if Yahuwah is giving boldness and courage, then that means the enemy must give the opposite. Because whatever Yahuwah says, the enemy is going to tell you the opposite of. If Yahuwah says go up, the enemy is going to tell you to go down. You got to listen to how the enemy speaks. The enemy always tries to do the opposite of what Yahuwah says. The enemy will put a little bit of truth in his conversation with a whole bunch of lies. That's what you got to pay attention. Pay attention to what the enemy is saying. That's why you have to know the word. If you don't know the word, then you can understand the lies. You can differentiate the lies. You can tell if this is from Yahuwah or not. Because you got to really know his words. So the enemy right now is the one that's pushing fear upon the world. And we saw what happened when fear is being pushed several times. We saw several different things that took place when the people give in to fear. They give in to the enemy. They bow down, they worship the enemy. They take whatever the enemy pushes on them. That's why his mark will be received so easily, because the people are giving in to the spirit of fear of the enemy, not of Yahuwah. So we'll be looking at some righteous persons, not our unrighteous ones, but some righteous persons that gave in to the spirit of fear. And let's look at what happened to them. And look at some other scriptures that tells us not to be afraid, that warns us if we should be afraid, what will happen, what will be the consequences of giving in to the spirit of fear. That's what we want to find out, so we can avoid doing so that we can avoid being fearful and doubting Yahuwah and not trusting Yahuwah, because that's one of the most scariest things to do in this world, to doubt Yahuwah. If you doubt Yahuwah, man, there's so much things that can come out of that. So much things that can go wrong. If you allow doubt to lead your life, you will never be able to differentiate Yahuwah from the enemy. You will never be certain of anything. You will never be sure if this is Yahuwah speaking to you or if this is the enemy or if this is your flesh, because you have not enough faith. You lack faith. O ye of little faith. Nurak Yahuwah. So let's jump into the scriptures. First place that we want to go to is in the book of Barashit, Genesis, with our righteous forefather, Abraham, and his wife, Sarah, Yahuwah. Now, there are different scenarios that took place with Abraham and Sarah. I mean, he was tested through his woman when his woman was taken away from him. You know, he became fearful in that part where, you know, we all know the scripture speaks about Sarah. She was, you know, very beautiful and an attractive woman. And because of that, you know, Abraham became a bit fearful that when these other nations, their soldiers and the soldiers of the kings will see them and the kings will see her, they will want her, they will desire her, and they will kill him, slay him to be with her. So he became fearful of that situation. So what did he do? He told Sarah, hey, if they should ask, let them know I'm your brother, so that way I might live. And we saw this happen. We saw when they did it, the king believed. He took Sarah onto him rather, and he almost went through with sleeping with her. But then Yahuwah showed up. Yahuwah showed up in all his might and all his power, and let him know, hey, this is not your woman. She is already the wife of someone else, of Abraham. And he came back, you know, a bit mad, frustrated, wondering, why did you lie? Why did you not say she was your wife? Why did you say she was your sister? Because he was fearful. He was fearful that he would be slain because of Sarah. But what did we see happen? What did we saw happen? We saw the king release Sarah back to Abraham, and not only that, but he gave them possession. He gave them things as well and told them to leave, to go. Did they die? No. If only they had trusted Yahuwah in the beginning. Yahuwah saw that within his heart. But it was also a test. If you read Jubilees chapter 17, you will see that it's also a test. Because the enemy sensed the fear in Abraham. And he was trying to use that to cause Abraham to displease Yahuwah. because he's trying to, show Yahuwah up in front of all his messengers. If you read Jubilees chapter 17, you will see this. Same thing happened with Ayub. Remember with Ayub, when Hashatan showed up and Yahuwah said, have you considered my servant Ayub? He was boasting on his servant Ayub. But the enemy was trying to show him up, was trying to make Yahuwah look bad. So he searches out something that was in Ayub that could get Ayub to displease Yahuwah, to get Ayub to mess up to the point where Yahuwah would be so mad, so angry that he would, cut Ayub off or cut Abraham off. It's the same thing he is doing today. The enemy is searching us out to see what is in us that is not pleasing to Yahuwah, to use that against us, to use that to cause a displeasure in Yahuwah's eyes. Because he's trying to show Yahuwah. Remember, he said he wanted to be like Yahuwah. He wanted to be Yahuwah. So it's like general elections. What do you see happen in these elections? You see the current president, or you see two other candidates, presidential candidates. They will be doing what? They will be battling for the presidency. But what do they do in these battles? They are trying to prove that they are the best president. They are the best choice. Choose me, I'm the best choice. I will do this, I will do that. But at the same time, what else do we see? We see them doing this. At the other candidate, they will say, all right, this candidate, if you choose him, he won't do this. They're trying to make that other candidate look bad. We saw this a lot of times with elections. We saw this during Joe Biden's time and Trump's time, Obama's time. If you go back and watch these elections and watch these debates that they would have, they're trying to make each other look bad, while at the same time they're trying to make themselves seem like the best choice, the best option, which we know they're all the same. They're in one camp, one family, one house. We know that. But you get what I'm trying to say. This is what the enemy is doing today. The enemy is trying to make Yahuwah look bad. The enemy is trying to make it seem as if Yahuwah has forgotten you. Yahuwah doesn't care about you. Yahuwah doesn't love you. The enemy is trying to make it seem as if he is the best king. He is the best choice. Choose him. That's what he's doing. It's an election that's taking place right now. Who will you choose? So, right here in Genesis 15, let's read where Yahuwah gave the promise to Abraham, Yahuwah regarding, seeds. Yahuwah. And the reason why I said seeds and not seed, because, if you know the promise that was given, it was not only for Yatasak, but it was for all of us today. We are the seeds of Abraham. If you have accepted, we are the seeds of Abraham. That's why when the righteous die, they go to the bosom of Abraham. We are his seeds. We are the chosen one. So in chapter 15, verse 1, this is what Yahuwah said to Abraham in a vision, saying the first thing that he said to him, fear not. Fear not, Abram. I am your shield and your exceeding great reward. And Abraham said, Adonai Yahuwah, what will you give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus. And Abraham said, behold, to me you have given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of Yahuwah came unto him, saying, this shall not be your heir, but he that shall come forth out of your own bowels shall be your heir. Yahuwah. So he's telling him that this child, this man that is in your house, no, he shall not be your heir. Your heir shall be that of your own bowels of your own seed. Remember, he was with Sarah at this point. But what did we see happen next? Let's go. Let's find out. Let's jump to chapter 16. Now, in chapter 16, Barak Yahuwah, now verse 1 it says, Now Sarah, Abraham's woman, bore no children unto him. And she had a handmaid, a Mitzrayim, an Egyptian, whose name was Agar. So Sarah said unto Abraham, Behold, no, Yahuwah has restrained me from bearing children. I pray you, plead to you, go in unto my maid. It might be that I might obtain children by her. So as you can see, she wasn't sure. She was guessing. Now, what could have caused this, everyone? What was the first thing Yahuwah said to Abraham in the previous chapter? Fear what? Fear not. Now, here we come on to the next chapter and we're seeing where, Sarah had no children. So what? What happened? She started to doubt. What caused doubt? Fear. Why? Why were they doubtful? Why was Sarah and Abraham doubtful in this situation, especially Sarah? Why were they doubtful? Let's continue to read. So, she said it might, not going to say M-A-Y. M-A-Y is the name of a mighty one. We know that already. So, it might be that I might obtain children by her. She did not say Yahuwah told her. She did not say with a surety. She's guessing. She's doubtful that she will have children. But she's saying we might be obtain children by this woman. That's doubt. That's fear. So anyways, Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah. He listened to his woman. This is something that we saw with Adam. We saw Adam did this very same thing. He listened to his woman. We saw Abraham here doing the same thing. Listen to his woman. We saw Samson listen to his woman. We saw Solomon listen to his females, his much wives. And what did that all do to all of them? Cause them to do what? To displease Yahuwah, to go astray. Remember, Yahuwah says he is the head of man. And man is the head of woman, not the other way around. Not woman being the head of man. Which means we should listen to Yahuwah, not our wives, not our woman. I'm not saying you can have conversation with your wives or whatever, or they can't be given, certain visions or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, your final decision must be by Yahuwah, must come through Yahuwah, must seek Yahuwah on these matters, on these things. You can discuss certain things, yes, with your wife, with your brother, with your sister, but still Yahuwah is the one that chooses. So, here again, Abraham making the same mistake that our forefather Adam made by listening to Sarah instead of Yahuwah, trusting Yahuwah. So, he listened to the voice of Sarah, and Sarah, Abraham's woman, took Hagar, her maid, the Mitzrayim, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her man Abraham to be his woman. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. Whoa. So there you go. This is why we trust Yahuwah. And Sarah said unto Abar, my wrong be upon you. I have given my maid into your bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Yahuwah judged between me and you. And here we go again, the same scenario that took place with Adam and Hua. When they messed up, what did Hua do? Did Hua say, you know what, Yahuwah, it's my fault. I am wrong. I should never have listened to the serpent. And I should never have given my Aish, my husband, the fruit to eat, which we know we weren't supposed to eat. No, she did what? She said, my wrong be upon the serpent. And what did Adam did? My wrong be upon the woman who you, Yahuwah, gave. So the blame game started to play. Instead of saying, you know what, I was wrong. This is where I went wrong. This is where I messed up, yada, yada, yada. Please forgive me, Yahuwah, and move on. The blame game, the pointed of fingers started to happen. Instead of manning up and taking your responsibility. That's what Sarah did right here. She messed up. She was the one that brought up this idea. She was the one that came up with this idea. It wasn't Abraham. No, we clearly saw that. If anyone should say that was Abraham's idea, then you clearly don't know scripture. You are adding to Yahuwah's word, and you are wrong. It was quite clear. This is what Sarah said. Sarah said it might be, but she wasn't sure. Yes, Abraham has his wrong as well. I'm not saying Sarah is all her fault. I mean, Abraham is wrong as well because he should have never, listened unto her or gave in unto her. He should have seeked Yahuwah about this, but he gave in anyways. But still, what I'm trying to say is, look at what she did. As soon as something bad happened, the first thing that she did was what? Point fingers when she was clearly wrong and was her idea. So Abraham said unto Sarah, behold, your maid is in your hand. Do to her as it pleases you. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. So there you go. This is what fear can do to us. Put us in some situations that is not of Yahuwah's perfect will. Because of fear, this is what happened. If only we had trust Yahuwah and wait. This is why Yahuwah says, be anxious of nothing, but in prayer, in petition, and supplication, pray, giving thanks, thanksgiving. Give Yahuwah thanks. Don't be anxious. Why? Because when you are anxious, you will become impatient. When you allow anxiety to take you over and you become really anxious, what happens? You want it. No, you want to see that thing happen. No, if Yahuwah says 7th month, you want to see it happen in a day. If Yahuwah says 7 days, you want to see it happen in a day, or in 7 hours, or in 7 minutes, or in 7 seconds. Being anxious limits your patience. Being anxious limits your patience. That's why Yahuwah says, be anxious of nothing, because it will make you not wanting to wait. So if only Abraham and Sarah had waited, then they would have seen what Yahuwah would have done. Yahuwah would have proven himself to them. Now let's jump to chapter 18. Chapter 18, let's go down to verse 9. And this is when Yahuwah showed up to Abraham and Sarah and told him and her, even though she was in the house, but told him, because when he tells Abraham, Abraham is going to tell his wife, so he's telling both of them, even though she was, really present face to face there, but she was still there. You know what I'm saying? Barak Yahuwah. So he told them, he asked them, and they said unto him, where is Sarah, your woman? And he said, behold, she is in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto you according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, your woman, shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of females. So the reason why Sarah doted and all this stuff, why? Because they were old. They were old. They allowed the enemy to put doubt, to use fear and doubt to cause them to doubt Yahuwah, to use fear because of she's too old. You know that they say once you're over the age of 35 to about 40, it's a very tricky pregnancy that you can enter in. that pregnancy is a very I don't remember, high risk pregnancy. Yes, that's the term. Once you're past a certain age, let's say over 35, 40, it's a high risk pregnancy. Who is man to tell us what's high risk and what's not? Who is man to tell us what Yahuwah can do from what Yahuwah can't do? This is what the enemy will do. The enemy will try to convince you, try to tell you what Yahuwah can't do and what he can do. And then at the same time put himself within the picture. So because of this, they doubt it. So verse 12 says, therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, even my master being old also? And Yahuwah said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh? Why did Sarah laugh? Saying, shall I of a surety bear a child when I'm old? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? At the time appointed, I will return unto you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. So the question asks to all of us know, is anything too hard for Yahuwah? If Yahuwah should say to any Yasharalite woman today that's past the age, scientifically, according to man, not according to Yahuwah, according to man, if Yahuwah should say that to any female today or any male today, is that too hard for Yahuwah to do? I mean, Yahuwah is the one who made the heavens and the earth. Yahuwah is the one that made everything. Yahuwah is the one that made you. Are you saying that's impossible for Yahuwah? I mean, look at it. Back in the day, people lived until they were hundreds of years old. We saw Adam living up until 900 plus years old. After him, there were so much persons that lived up to hundreds of years old. Did I say 100,000 or 1,000 years old? But I said hundreds of years old. So why is it impossible today? If we saw Adam and others after him live past 200, 300, 500, why is it impossible today? Why? Because man told us it's impossible. Because man told us it's high risk, or there's no way scientifically it's possible. Who's man to tell us what is possible and what is not? This is what fear does. That's what the enemy uses, fear. So this is what fear can do also. Now listen to verse 15. Then it says, Sarah denied, saying, I did not laugh. I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Yahuwah said, no, nay, but you did laugh. So Sarah even lied. Sarah denied. Sarah even lied and said, no, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. He said, yes, you did laugh. Man, Barak Yahuwah. So even our righteous forefather, we saw fear came in with him on a few occasions. That same thing will happen to us today. Why? Because Yahuwah says nothing is new under the sun. Now let's jump to another person that was well known in scripture, righteous, and one that was really bold, really brave. But even he that was really bold and really brave, fear came in and conquered him. Now, this person that was really bold, really brave, we all know, is none other than Eliyahu. Eliyahu, which means my power, Yah adds, or Yah adds my power. In the English, most would know him as Elijah. Eliyahu, Al means power or strong authority. With the Yod, the Y on it, Ali makes it my power or my strong authority. Yahu, Yahu means Yah, and the Wa, the U means the Ad. So Yah adds. So my strong authority, Yah adds. That's what Ali Yahu means. My strong authority or my strong power or my power, Yah adds. That's what his name means. And we saw this with Eliyahu. We saw this with the rain when fire came down when he asked Yahuwah through him. Yahuwah sent down fire to the earth. Yahuwah stopped the rain. He brought back the rain. Yahuwah lit the altar, even though it was wet. I mean, that's in the previous chapter, chapter 18. So you can go back and read chapter 18, where, you know, the altar where he and the Baal prophets were proving who is the true Allah. They wanted to prove that their mighty one was a true Allah, and they were doing all this nonsense and all that stuff. Yahuwah, even Eliyahu rather, even mocked them and say, you know, maybe you need to call Doda, maybe he's stalking, maybe he's on a journey, whatever the case may be. And we saw where they did, you know, crazy things to get this attention. They shouted Loda, they cut themselves, all this nonsense, and nothing happened, nothing worked. And Yahuwah proved that he was a true Allah, true Eliyahu. And when Eliyahu had prepared the altar with the sacrifice, he even wet the entire sacrifice, the altar, everything. And Yahuwah lit the altar, the sacrifice, upon fire, even though water was present. And he proved himself. And then right after this, what did Eliyahu commanded? He commanded those who bow down and believe, those who said, Yahuwah is truly, he is Allah. Yahuwah, he is Allah. Those who bow down and worship Yahuwah and reverence Yahuwah at that time, he commanded them to slay all the prophets of Baal, to kill them. But Ahab, which means brother of father, our father's brother, or Ahab, you know him as Ahab, he allowed him to live, to go back, to warn. You know, there has to be a witness. So right here in chapter 19 now is where he has returned to tell his wife, Isabel, or Jezebel, that all that Eliyahu has done, or all that Yahuwah has done through this prophet. And with whole, he has slain all the prophets with the sword. No, this is what Jezebel said. She sent a messenger to Eliyahu saying, so let the Elohim, or the Allah, do to me, and more also, if I make not your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. So the prophets that he has slain, that's what she's saying. She's sending a threat to Elijah that I will kill you just the same by tomorrow. So when Elijah heard this, what did he do? We already know what he did. He got up and he went for his life. He ran. Then he came to Beersheba, which belongs to Yehuda. And he came on a juniper tree and he requested that he might die. He said, it is enough now, O Yahuwah, take away my life, for I am not better than my father. So he became fearful. He allowed fear to overcome him. And look at what fear did. Fear ended up taking over Eliyahu, so to the point that he wanted his life to be taken. This is what fear can do to us, everyone. From being a strong, mighty, fearful prophet to now being a fearless prophet, to now being one that is fearful. So he went from fearless to fearful because of fear. I mean, look at that. This happened thus maybe a day ago, a week ago. He went from fearless to now fearful because of one woman. It's not really because of one woman, it's because of fear. Real reason is fear. Who is behind fear? Who is behind Jezebel? Hashatan. These unclean spirits. That's what's behind this. So because of this, he became fearful and he wanted to die. So even our righteous forefathers, we see these things happening to. Don't you think that this can happen to you today? Nothing is new under the sun. That's what Yahuwah said. Nothing is new under the sun. Now, even another prophet, let's go to another prophet and let's see what happened to this prophet if he became fearful. Jeremiah. Go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1. Let's read from verse 4. When Yahuwah came to Jeremiah, we're going to read from 4 to 9. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Whoa. Before he formed him in the belly, he knew Jeremiah. Before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, and I ordained you a prophet unto the nation. So before he was even in his mother's womb, Yahuwah is saying, Yahuwah already knew Jeremiah. He already chose Jeremiah. Why? Because of Jeremiah's heart. He saw ahead of time. He saw the heart of Jeremiah, how he would choose him back. But let's see what Jeremiah's response is. Then I said, Ah, Adonai Yahuwah, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. He is young. This is what the enemy will do to some of us. Because we are young, the enemy will use that against us to say, oh, we cannot be a prophet for Yahuwah, or a shepherd, or a teacher, or whatever it is for Yahuwah, because we're too young. The older folks, they won't listen to us. Well, if they don't want to listen, that's on them. He that have a ear, let him hear what the rule has to say. You can't say who the rule won't use. That's what Akishaka says. You can't say who the rule won't use. That is so true. No, none of us today can tell who the rule of Yahuwah won't use. He will choose whoever he pleases. Yahuwah right now can use a 6-year-old child to give you a message, to give you a warning, to correct you. This is why Yahuwah says we need to be first what? If his people that are called by his name will first humble themselves. This is why we need to be humble, because we are not sure where the correction will come from. So the enemy will use fear against us, the same way he's trying to use fear, the age, against us. He uses age situation with who? With Abraham and Sarah, but in a different way. Now he's using age again with who? Jeremiah. Because he said, I'm a child, I am young, they won't listen to me. These older folks, they won't listen to me. And it's quite understandable, especially in today's time. We can see that even in today's time, most of the older folks today, they don't listen to us. Why? Because they think we're too young. We don't know anything. We just came into this world. They are older than us. They are 60 or 70 years old or 50 years old. We don't know anything because, we are 10 years old. We're in our teens, we're in our 20s, we're in our 30s, so we know nothing. We're in our 40s, we know nothing. That's what they will do. So the ones that are more older, 60, 70, 80, 90, they don't listen that much. And I've seen it happen a lot, especially here in Jamaica. The older folks here in Jamaica, they don't really listen. You can't really tell them anything with our majority of the older folks here. They do not listen. They are old, they are stubborn. So Jeremiah became a bit fearful because he was saying to Yahuwah, I am a child. These older folks, they don't listen. They will use my age against me and all that stuff. But what did Yahuwah say? But Yahuwah said unto him, say not that you are a child, for you shall go to all that I shall send you to. And whatsoever I command you, you shall speak. Be not afeard. Be not afraid. Fear not their faces. Be not afraid of their faces. Fear not their faces. As I said, you will see fear not, or you may see be not afraid. Fear not their faces. Be not afraid of their faces. Why? For I am with you to deliver you, says Yahuwah. For Yahuwah is with us to deliver us. Yahuwah is the one that speaks through us. But so much look at the physical instead of the spiritual. Instead of looking at me spiritually, looking at the spirit behind me, you're looking at the physical. So much time people focus on the physical instead of the spiritual. And that's why they can't get the message. That's why they can't see the bigger picture. Yahuwah is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. The weapons are for warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through Yah. So what is Yahuwah saying? It's all spiritual. It has to take place spiritually before it manifests as physical. The same way the earth was without shape and void, and he spoke the his spirit went over, and then the physical became to be, and all the stuff, the earth was made, the heaven was made, all these things were made. He spoke. So what he's trying to say, don't focus on your age, your physical age. Focus on me. I am a spirit. I exist forever. Yahuwah has no age. Even though physically you are young, but spiritually in him, he is old. And the words that's going to speak to him, it's going to seem as if it's the words of someone that is thousands of years old. So for those who are righteous, those who are wanting to seek Yahuwah, to please Yahuwah, they will get the message. They will look at it spiritually, and they will see the rule in you. But the others who focus on the physical, they won't get the message. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched his mouth, and Yahuwah said unto him, Behold, I have put my words in your mouth. No, can you see words? If someone is talking, can you see it? Can you see the words that they're saying? I mean, you can write down words, but if I'm talking right now, can you see the words that I'm saying? You can't see the words that are coming out of the mouth, which means it's more spiritual. So even with Abraham, our righteous forefather, Eliyahu, a fearless prophet, and even Jeremiah, we saw these persons, they also were a bit afraid at times, or fear even came and conquered them at times. This is why Yahuwah keeps on saying, be not afraid, fear not. Because this is one of the enemy's main tool, main weapon that he uses, pride and fear. Pride and fear. This is one of his main tools that he uses, especially in these times. From the beginning to the end, pride and fear. So much of us today are fearful with different reasons, for different reasons, in different scenarios, in different situations. We are fearful of what's taking place today. We are fearful of what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen by the end of the year, what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen if I should lose my job, what's going to happen with this, what's going to happen if I tell this person the truth, what's going to happen if I walk away, what's going to happen. That's fear. You are so worried about what's going to happen next. That's fear instead of trusting Yahuwah. Stop focusing on what's going to happen next and focus on no. Focus on the life after. Not focus on the present. Focus on the life after. If I don't do this, then what's going to happen in the life after this because I fail to do this? If I don't please Yahuwah. That's what you should be focused on. But we are so focused and fearful of the present and of tomorrow, the future. And not our true future, which is the life after. But this earthly time future we are afraid of. This is what the enemy is using. I mean, look at what took place in 2019 to 2022, there about 2021, especially 2020. Look at what happened in 2020 and 2021. Look at what fear did. Look at what fear did. So much persons on this earth became fearful, and look at what it led them to. Look at what it allowed them to do. Even some that said, oh, I will not do this, I will not take that, yada, yada, yada. Look at what happened because of fear. Because what? They said, if you don't take this, oh, no job, no travel, no this, no that, yada, 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 yada. And because of fear, they give in and take it. And that was just a test. There is still more to come. So even our righteous ancestors we saw became afraid at times. And look at what took place after when they became afraid. But let's jump to the book of Matthew. Let's jump to the book of Matthew. And let's read what Yahuwah says about being fearful in these last days, in these end times. What should we focus on? Rumamu Yahuwah. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 6. Rumamu Yahuwah. We're going all the way down to verse 19. You know, Barak Yahuwah, Rumamu Yahuwah. Thank you, Abba. In the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 19, you can read the previous verses up where he talks about, the prayer and all that stuff, how to pray, how not to pray, how to fast, how not to fast, all these things. And then in verse 19 here, he goes on to say, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in Shemayim, or heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. This is one of the books that I first really dived into when coming into the name of Yahuwah. Even though this was in Christianity, but as I said, when I came to the name, it was still in Christianity. Used it then, even though so much did not understand, I had to say who you know as JC or whatever nonsense and all that stuff, but still, I came to his name. This is one of the books, Book of Matthew, the Book of Acts. Read these two books because Yahuwah was preparing me for what's to come. The mission that Yahuwah had for me. When Yahuwah had to pull me away from all these things, from society, from religion, first and foremost, from the religion and the beast system, from the world. He pulled me away from religion. He pulled me away from the beast system, and he got me to buckle down to study for 6 whole months. 6 whole months. Yahuwah was preparing me to say, do not worry. Do not worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, all these things. I am there with you. Barak Yahuwah. So verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light. If your eye be evil, your whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. Sorry. You cannot serve Yah and Mammon at the same time. You cannot serve Yah and God at the same time. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. Don't worry, do not fear. Take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body, what you shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment, or clothes? Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much better than they? Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature? And why take ye thought for raiment, for clothes? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. They don't make clothes. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his esteem or honor, was not arrayed like one of these. He was not dressed like one of these. Wherefore, if Yah so clothed the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, which means even though you see the earth so beautiful today, beautiful beaches, trees, and all these things, later on in the future, it will be cast into the fire. Tomorrow, it will be cast into the fire. Why is it says tomorrow? Remember, 1,000 years is nothing but a day in Yahuwah's sight. So even though it's years for us, it's months and it's days, weeks, months, and years for us, it's nothing but a day for Yahuwah. So he's talking about the judgment, the final day. Shall he not much more load you, O ye of little faith? I remember the first time when I saw this and I read this, O ye of little faith, I'm like, you know what? That's so true. We got to increase our faith, trust in Yahuwah. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be loaded? Don't worry about these things. That's what Yahuwah is saying. Don't worry about food, clothes, drinks, and all the stuff. For after all these things do the other people seek. So these things are what the nations, what the people in the world seek after. These things are what they worry about. And we see that being so true. I mean, as I said, look at what took place in 2020 and 2021. Because they are so worried about what they shall eat, what they shall drink, or what they shall wear, and all this stuff, they took the abomination. If they had put their trust in Yahuwah, then they would have trusted Yahuwah. And even if they have to die, then so be it. There are so much that are not willing to die for the truth, not willing to die for Yahuwah. So again, Yahuwah says, for all these things do the other people seek, the other nations, they seek these things. For your heavenly Father knows that you have need of all these things. He knows we need these things. So why do we need to worry about it? Worrying won't do anything. It won't help you. Favorite verse. Verse 33, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahuwah and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Favorite verse. Remember when I was in the world and I was seeking after these things? Because I thought by achieving these things, we had to do it certain way, the legal way or this or that or whatever the case may be. By being influenced by these rappers and all these people, especially like 50 Cent, get rich or die trying, all these influences and all these things that got into your head, that's all you sought it. But then no matter what you tried to do, you kept on trying and trying. You tried this, you tried that. I mean, I remember the last thing that the enemy offered me was to join the Illuminati. Right before, it was the same day that I spoke to Yahuwah. The same day in the day I was in the town of Falmouth, Trelawney, Jamaica. I had just walked away from my job because it was really at a place. Well, not just walked away from my job. I had previously walked away from 2 jobs because of one of them, the enemy. Well, Yahuwah really and truly was trying to get my attention, but I thought it was the enemy. There were several situations that unfolded that took place because of fear, because of envy. I was coming from a previous hotel with certain experience, and the other supervisors there, they had none. So they saw me as a threat because I could take their place. I know a lot more than they do. They know nothing. If you look at these supervisors and these assistant managers and these managers, most of them, they don't have the qualifications, the experience, and knowledge that you have. Most of them, how they got to the top is because they lie, they cheat, they ended up hurting someone else, betraying their own friends, and all these things to get to the top. That's what they did. Sabotage others to get to the top. It's not because they studied and they researched and they had experience, and they have knowledge why they are at the top. No, it's because they sabotage, gossip, carried news about other people, and that's how they got to the top. Or they, use their bodies to get to the top. So even in these jobs today, that's why it's so hard, especially for us in the truth today. It's so hard for most of us to get, to positions like being supervisor, assistant manager, manager, and all these things because we are not willing to do what they do to get to the top. We will do it the right way. But remember, who is governed by these things? Who govern these things? The enemy. Most of these big companies, these CEOs, they do a lot of unclean things and abominations. They perform a lot of witchcraft and magic and all these things to establish their companies. Most of these jobs today, these companies today, and there are so much more that are joining in. So most of these companies and these employee and big establishments rather, they are governed by unclean spirits, principalities that rule these regions, that govern these regions. So that's why for us, when we work these jobs, it's hard for us to move up. And even in our regular positions, we will still get a fight because they don't want us in their companies. This is why Yahuwah wants us to establish our own form of business, and mostly seek He first. Trust Yahuwah, do His work. Focus on His job right now, not man's job. Because why are we working today? Why are we working today? If you should look into your life, to be honest, why are you working? You're working so that you can buy food, clothes, and you can pay the bills. You can pay your rent, your light bill, and all that stuff, or you can build a house, whatever the case may be. But the main reason right now why you're working is to do all this stuff, to buy food, to buy clothes, pay rent, and all this stuff. That's the reason why you're working. If you did not have to buy food, buy clothes, pay rent, pay bills, and all that stuff, would you work today? For those in the truth, would you do man's job, or would you focus 100% on Yah's job? But look at what Yahuwah is saying right here. Focus on His job. But it's because of fear. Again, we are fearful of, all right, if I don't work, then I won't eat. If I don't work, then I won't have money to buy clothes. If I don't work, then I won't be able to pay the bills. I won't be able to do this. That's because of fear. Fear is gripping us today, and we don't see this. Because we're not looking at it from a spiritual perspective, through spiritual lens. We're looking at this off physical, and that's why we fail to get the message. We fail to get the picture. So I remember when all these things happened with these different jobs, and I walked away from them all. And I was trying something else that I thought would have worked. That seems as if it would have worked, but it didn't work. Yahuwah messed it all up. Then this last time Hashatan came, through this guy, saw me, offered me 10 to 15,000 US dollars per week in Jamaican currency. That's a huge sum, I figure. Even if it's not per week, let's say fortnightly, or maybe I misheard, or somebody be like, damn, that's a lot. Maybe you misheard. Maybe he said fortnight. Maybe every 2 weeks he would have gained that much. Well, whether it be 2 weeks or a month, it's still a lot of figure for me as a regular Jamaican to be making. Because remember, the the exchange rate is really high here in Jamaica. Let's say then I heard wrong. Because maybe you might be saying, maybe you heard wrong. Maybe you said weekly, fortnightly, and you heard a week. Maybe you said every 2 weeks you would be making this. Or let's say a month. He said 10 to 15,000. Now 10,000 would be 1.5 million Jamaican dollars. 15, you know how much that would. You can check that out. That would be over 2 million. Now, what would I be doing to make 1.5 to $2 million, whether fortnightly or monthly? What would I be doing? It's not that I have a PhD or I have a bachelorette. It's not that he's offering me a lawyer position at some big firm, big hotshot firm, or he's offering me a doctorate position to be a doctor, a scientist. No, all he said that all I got to do is just do some work. I'm going to do some work online on the computer and all that stuff. But the first thing that he told me was the money. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, what would I be doing to make this money per month, per fortnight, per week, whatever. The regular majority of Jamaicans don't make that, not even for the month, unless they're in some big shot position or they have multiple businesses. But I'm talking about a job here. You're getting a job off. What would you be doing? Anyways, the rule, I didn't know at that time that was a rule. I call it my gut instinct. Said to me, take his number. I'm going to show you something. But there was a rule, Yahuwah talking. Took his number, messaged him on WhatsApp. He sent me a book of what they, believe in and all that stuff. And he sent me some photographs of his, his boss and several other males. And when I saw it and, examined each photographs and looked at their hands positions, somewhere in, certain parts of their pocket or their jackets. And if you look closely at their hands, their fingers, there were certain things that you can identify because Illuminati, if you study them and you know them, you know the hand gestures, the signals, the hand in pockets and all that stuff. You know exactly what to look for. And because I, heard about the Illuminati a long time before I started to investigate and study them, I know exactly what to look for. And the rule helped me to identify. So when I saw these things in the photographs and I read the book that he sent me, it was straight the Illuminati. The enemy was offering me a position in the Illuminati. And I refused. And I said to Yahuwah that night, that same day in the night, that seeing all these things trying, basically everything in this world to make ends meet, to try to establish myself, to try to, have something of my own to further myself in this life and to afterwards settle down to have a family and all that stuff. I said to Yahuwah, why me? I'm trying to live right by people. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to, do this for people. And at the end of the day, all I'm getting is the bad end of all of this. And he said, why not you? What makes you any more special or better than any of my chosen or my prophets? He said, you have tried almost everything in the world. I have allowed you to try these things, but you have never given me a chance. Because I was searching for shalom in all of this. I thought shalom, if you had, your own, let's say a wonderful job or your own business, you had your house and all the stuff, you would have shalom. But that's not true. For those out there thinking that this will give you shalom, this will give you joy, this will give you all these things that if the world makes it seem you will get, it will not. I've seen multiple guys that are really, really rich, multiple businesses. I've been around them and I've seen how they are. They are not joyful. They don't have shalom. You know why? Because they don't know who to trust. They don't know who truly loves them for who they are. Majority of who is around them only loves them for what they can do. They don't know if their own wives love them for who they are. Their own family members love them for who they are. They are not sure. So for that reason, what? There can be no shalom because it's not in Yahuwah. So they have no shalom, even though they make it seem that way. Just like these celebrities today, when they show you these reality TV shows and they show you their big old fancy mansion and they have their children and they bring in these cameras. That's how things is on in front of the cameras. But if you should see what takes place behind the camera, you'll see another side to them. That's how people will seem. They will pretend to make it seem as if everything's okay. Oh, I'm joyful. Oh, I'm well, and this and that. That's what these celebrities do. They are actors. They are actors, paid actors. I've told you about this, once I saw this hidden camera footage where everything was okay with Jay-Z and Beyonce's sister. I don't remember her name. But Beyonce's sister and Jay-Z, they walked into an elevator, all the cameras, everyone was there and all that stuff. Everything was fine. As soon as they walked into the elevator and the doors closed, she just got mad, got in a rage, got in anger, and started to attack Jay-Z. The bodyguards had to pull her off and separated the two. If you watch this TV show that's called Black Mirror, in the first episode of Black Mirror, where this British Prime Minister, he had to sleep with a pig, had sex with a pig in order to, help someone. Anyways, he ended up doing it because he wanted to help that person that was, in need of help. After doing it, it was done publicly as well on the news. Everyone saw it in England. And even though, people cheered him on because he did, in their eyes, a right actor, whatever the case may be. And he was there with his wife, they were smiling, waving to everyone and all that stuff. They went into the house. And when they went into the house, his wife, she just walked off. He was trying to have a conversation with her. She didn't even want to. She couldn't even look at him. She was disgusted by him. But yet, a few seconds ago, she was outside hugging him, waving, and all this stuff, smiling. And as soon as the doors are closed, she can't stand them. She can't look at them. This is how most of these celebrities are today, people. They are putting on a show. And it's not just celebrities, as I said. It's most people in general. You got some people out there that makes it seem as if, oh, their lives are fine, they're okay, yada, yada, yada. But reality, deep down, they're hurting inside. Reality, deep down, they're lonely. Reality, they are sad. Reality, they are angry. Whatever the situation may be, they're hiding what's truly going on. So with all these things that they try to make, it seems as if this is the way to shalom, this is the way to joy. It's not. Take it from me, it's not. I've been around, I've seen them. I've seen those who had it personally. I'm not telling you about what I saw on the television. I'm telling you about personally, from experience. I've been around persons who have it, have things in the world, worldly possession. And they don't have what I have today. They don't have shalom, they don't have joy. Even though I don't have worldly possessions, I don't have the money, the earthly riches, and all these things that they have. I have shalom, I have joy. And nothing in this world is worth more than that. Nothing in this world is worth losing over for that. So this is why this verse stood out to me. This is why Yahuwah highlighted this verse to me in the very start of my walk of learning who he is and who I am. He was trying to let me understand. He was getting me to unlearn what I was told, what I was taught, what the world tells us. Because that's what the world tells us today. In order to be somebody, you gotta have things. You gotta have the position, have these fancy jobs and all this stuff and the cars, the house, all these things to be somebody. That's a lie. That's a lie, everyone. If you don't have Yahuwah, you have nothing. You are nothing. If you don't have Yahuwah, you have nothing. Because Yahuwah is the only one that can give us joy, give us shalom, give us freedom. Even if I took that opportunity that Hashatan was offering, and yes, I would have had, millions in Jamaica. Even though to you American, it's only 10,000 now, but here in Jamaica, that's a lot of figure. That's millions. That's 1.5 to 2 million, as I said. I will be making weekly or fortnightly or monthly. It doesn't matter. I mean, look at the Prime Minister of Jamaica right now. He's making 25 million a year. 25 million a year. If that was weekly, I would be making more than the Prime Minister of Jamaica. If it's monthly, then it would not be more, but it would be close. But if I had taken that, where would I be today? I wouldn't know who Yahuwah is. I wouldn't know who I am. Because that was all a test. That was Hashatan's last effort to keep me in his lies and to pull me deeper into it. Because he know Yahuwah was going to show up. Yahuwah was going to speak. He knows that I was going to cry out. And he knows Yahuwah was going to give me that ultimatum. When he said to me, I have allowed you to try everything in the world and you have never given me a chance. What do you have to lose? No. When Yahuwah said that to me, I know this was my last chance to choose him. And I made that choice to choose Yahuwah. Told him I went hard for the devil, and I will go even harder for you, Yahuwah. That's the vow, that's the promise that I made. And I still stand by to this day. So I could have been wealthy or rich in this worldly age and time. But as I said, what does that profit you? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and loses his own soul? And as I said from experience, I've seen those who are rich in this world and they don't have shalom, they don't have joy. And that's one of the main things that I was looking for. The world made it seem as if these things come through, riches and all these things, but it does not. They had it, but they still don't have shalom. They don't have joy. I have it. Those in Yahuwah who truly live for Yahuwah and love Yahuwah, they have it. So think about that. Barak Yahuwah. Take therefore, verse 34, take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Significant. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Ruma Mu Yahuwah. Let's jump to Acts 4 real quick. Ruma Mu Yahuwah. Acts chapter 4. Let's read from verse 17 onwards. This is where Kappa healed the man that was really sick. Kappa and Yahuwah healed the man that was really sick. And then the leaders, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Sanhedrin, they took hold of them and, they asked them, how did they do this? By what power? And they started to explain and yada, yada, yada. So no, they sent them outside and they were trying to establish what should they do to them. Because remember, the Greeks, the Romans, they didn't want people to know about a Hebrew Messiah. They wanted people to serve their idols and mighty ones. So, verse 17, as you can see, it says, but that is spread no further among the people, let us straightly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahusha. But Kappa and Yahuwah answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of Yahuwah to hearken unto you more than unto Yah, judge ye. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard. So when they had further threatened them, they let them go, finding nothing on how they might punish them because of the people. For all people esteemed or honored Yah for that which was done. So even in this time today, you will find persons in this time, because of the truth, because of what you're doing and all that stuff, you will find persons that will threaten you. Expect this, everyone. It will happen. They will threaten you. The government will threaten you because they don't want you to teach or speak about Yahuwah, Yahusha. I mean, they're doing it now. Some persons are experiencing this right now. Life and death threats and other type of threats, like throwing you into the prisons, or you're not able to, work anymore in society. There's so much threats that are going on right now. I mean, the simplest way that they will start with some of these threats, I mean, look at these social medias, the Facebook, the YouTube, and other ways. If you start to speak the truth, they will threaten you to say, if you continue to do this, we will take down your Facebook page. Or if you continue to do this, we'll shut down your YouTube channel. You'll get one strike, then a community, then 3 more strikes, and then you're out. You'll be banned for several days or weeks or whatever the case may be. And if it continues to happen, then we'll terminate your channel. We'll shut down your channel. You're taking the streets, it's the same thing. I mean, right now they are having their parade march where these people, they can go and parade, talk all they want about being gay and all this stuff, the ABCs of the alphabet, and how they are coming after children's and all that stuff. But if you should go out there and speak against it, the police are not coming to lock them up, but they're coming to lock you up because they say you're disturbing the shalom, the so-called shalom. You are the ones being locked up. Why? Because you speak the truth. You're going against their agenda. So when you threaten their agenda, they will threaten your lives in any way, shape, or form. There are different ways that they can threaten. It does not have to be life threatening. It does not have to be where, oh, if you don't stop talking about Yahuwah, Yahusha, we're gonna kill you. They can simply say, if you continue to do this, we will charge you with disturbing the shalom in the atmosphere and with coming up against the right of religion and all that stuff, because we know about the amendment rights and all that stuff. I mean, I even saw this on the embassy, where they said if you are coming against religion, you will not be getting access to certain countries. So if you're going to speak up against religion and all that stuff, they will not grant you permission or access to enter into their country. So they have different ways of threatening us. Oh, if you don't take this, you will be out of a job. We saw that in 2020. Perfect example. You don't take this, you'll be out of a job. If you don't take this, you won't be granted access to travel. If you don't take this, you won't do this. If you don't, they are threatening you. That's a form of threat. So much persons don't see it as a threat, but because they don't understand. So understand you will be faced with threats in this war, in this lifetime. Family members, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, then this is what happened. We'll cut you off from the family inheritance. Oh, we'll cut you off from our families. That's basically a threat. So that's what they did to Kappa and Yahuwah because of them standing boldly and firmly for Yahuwah Yahusha. So having letting them go, they went unto their own people and they told them all that the chief priests and the elders had said unto them. And when they heard, they did what? We know that they lifted up their voice to Yahuwah with what? With one accord. No one became afraid. Everyone stood bold and all that stuff. And they prayed to Yahuwah and asked Yahuwah for what? They asked Yahuwah for boldness. Right here. They asked Yahuwah that with all boldness that they may speak your word, and by the stretching forth of the hand to heal, and signs and wonders may be done by the name of Yahusha, your Kadash name, Yahusha. And when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Ruach Kadash, and they spoke the word of Yahuwah with boldness. So if you should be threatening these end times, in these last days, in your time right now, don't worry about it. Yahuwah got you. Yahuwah has your back. Pray to Yahuwah so that you can receive boldness to continue to do it. Stand firmly for the truth. Do not let fear conquer you and defeat you. Because if you do allow fear to conquer you, you will displease Yahuwah. There's no if, buts, or doubt about that. You will displease Yahuwah. Your trust will drop. You will no longer trust Yahuwah, but no, you will start to doubt Yahuwah. Trust Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Two more scriptures, then we're through. Barak Yahuwah. Let's jump to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 13. We're going to read from verse 5. No, Yahuwah says, let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as you have. For Yahuwah has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. So that we may boldly say, Yah is my helper. Azar Yahu, my help, Yah adds. Or Yah is my help. That's what my name means. Azar Yahu. Yah is my help, not man. Yah is my source, not man. Yahuwah is my source and my help. And I will not fear what man shall do unto me. I will not fear what man shall do unto me. This is what happens when you go against the enemy's agenda, everyone. When you stand boldly, when you speak up, when you speak the truth, when you stand firmly for the truth, the enemy will use fear to cripple you. The enemy will use fear to get you to doubt Yahuwah, to get you to submit to it, to these unclean spirits, to get you to submit to him, to his ways, to his will, and not Yah's will. But as Yahuwah says, he will never leave us nor forsake us, so that we may say boldly, Yah is my help, Azari Yahu. I will not fear what man shall do unto me. I've never feared man in the world. I've been around some of the baddest in Jamaica. Been in some places that I should never have been to in the first place. And I was not afraid then. And I will not be afraid now in the truth. No matter what the enemy tries to threaten me with, I will not be afraid. I've made a vow, a promise to Yahuwah. I went hard for him, the devil. This time I will go harder for Yahuwah. 10 times as hard, 100 times as hard for Yahuwah than I went for the devil. Because we all did. We were all in the world. We were all a part of the beast system. Either you were in the world regularly or you were in some form of religion, belief system, New Age, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, whatever it is. You were in some form, weird shape, or form in Babylon. You were doing things that you should never have been doing. We were doing things that we should never have been doing. Why? Because we did not listen. We did not obey it. We did not trust Yahuwah when he was speaking. And we did things that was right in his sight. Now that we have humbled ourselves and repented, now we need to do the things that are right. We need to make up back for lost time. We need to make up back for all the wrong things that we have done. So do not fear what man shall do to you. Yahuwah says, why fear the one who can only destroy the body, but rather fear the one that can both destroy body and soul in the pit? Who would you rather to fear, man or Yahuwah? Man can only destroy your body, but Yahuwah can destroy your soul as well. Who would you rather to fear? If I should fear anyone, I'd rather to fear Yahuwah. He is Baranu, creator of all things. I would rather to fear Yahuwah rather than man. Rumamu Yahuwah. Final scripture that we're heading to. Revelation or Azul, chapter 2, verse 7. And it reads, he that has an ear, let him hear what the rule says unto the called out assemblies. To him that overcomes will I give to eat the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Yahuwah. He that has a ear, let him hear. You don't need to force the truth on anyone. If they are willing to hear, they will hear. If they're not willing, let it be so. Let them do what they got to do. I've said this before. We should not be forcing the truth on anyone. Share the truth, warn, correct, give advice, whatever you got to do. Don't be afraid. The enemy will try to put you in a place of fear that you will be doubtful if you should say this or say that, or do this or do that. I'm not fearful. I'm fierce because I'm not worried about what man shall do or what man shall say. Man is not the judge of any of us today. Man is not the judge of you or me. Yahuwah is the judge of us. Yahuwah is the ultimate judge. Yes, we can judge between situations. That's what Yahuwah called us to do. Yahuwah says we are judges of certain situations. Beware, I've sent you among wolves that are in sheep clothing. How shall you know them? By their fruits. By their fruits you shall know them. Judge by their fruits. so that you do not be led astray. Yahuwah says, have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. So if you judge and judge properly, then you expose these things. And then Yahuwah will be the ultimate judge. But do not let the enemy use fear to cripple you, to get you not to expose the wicked works of darkness, to get you not to share the truth with people. Because that's what he's doing right now. He's using fear to cripple us, to get us to not speak the truth, to get us to not tell someone when they're wrong. That's what we're doing right now with this truth. That's what we're doing now with the truth. We're showing persons, individuals who are in the wrong, what they're doing wrong, how they are wrong. We were also in the wrong. Someone had to told us. Yahuwah had to tell us. And he had to choose different prophets and people to tell us the truth, to correct us. Every human being on this earth needs correction and will be corrected. But the enemy is trying to get us to be afraid of correcting an individual, telling them the truth, because we are fearful of what the person may say or may do. We are fearful of the person walking away from us, losing that friendship or that relationship with that individual. What do you think you're doing now with the truth? Every time you tell someone who's not in the truth about Yahuwah, what do you think you're doing? They are living a life that's not pleased with Yahuwah. You are showing them their wrongs. You are judging their lives based on how they live it, based on the fruits that they produce. You are judging their lives, and you're letting them know, hey, the side that you're living is wrong. You cannot do it this way. You cannot live this way. You are the chosen person of Yahuwah. This is how Yahuwah says we should be doing it. You're correcting that person's life, how they're living. That's what you're doing. There's so much persons that don't see it that way, but that's what you're doing. Each time you go on Facebook and make a post, that's what you're doing. You're correcting so much persons without even knowing. When you make a Facebook post, when you go on YouTube, when you go in the streets, or wherever it is that you share the truth, that's what you're doing. You're sharing the truth, so you're exposing the lies. That's correction. That's love. So many persons, like Yahuwah for saying that word, so much persons will say, oh, if you correct someone, that's not love and all the stuff, rebuke someone, or yada, yada, yada. Yahuwah did it. So that means Yahuwah doesn't love us then. Every time we present the truth in any way, shape, or form, whether through social media or in face-to-face, over the phone, wherever, whenever we present the truth, we are presenting correction as well. And you need to see it as that. If you don't see it as that, then guess what? You're going to still be in fear. And then when a situation comes up, you won't be able to tell the person the truth. You won't be able to give correction where correction is due. You will see correction as an attack. You will see rebuke as an attack. You will see it as the wrong thing. Because you got to first do what? Be humble. So as you can see, he that has a ear, let him hear. Don't need to push it. You don't need to force it. Do your part. Share the truth. And on to the message of the call of assembly in Samir, or Samirna, rather. Write these things, say, the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know your works and tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Yahudi and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. There's so much person that will use this Revelation 2:9 or Revelation 3:9 and say this only speaks to those fake Jews down there, those Jewish people down there. That's not only talking about those Jewish people. There's so much persons that say they are Yahudim, that say they are of Yahuwah and are not, or they are of the synagogue of Satan. Remember, Yahuwah says there are wolves that are in sheep clothing. So there are wolves out there that will pretend to be a sheep, that will pretend to be of Yahuwah. Remember, Yahuwah said this. Someone shall come to him in that last day and said, Master, Master, didn't I cast out devils in your name? Did I did this in your name? And he said to them, get away from me. I know you not. You are not of me. You are not of me. You are of the devil. So this is not only Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. It's not only speaking to that Jewish people, but it's speaking to those who pretend to be of Yahuwah and are not, but are wolves that are in sheep clothing. They are disguised. So this is not only speaking to those Jewish people. I mean, look at it. Look at those Hebrews that are on the corners that tell white people to bow down and kiss their shoes and kiss their feet, and how they can't make it into the Shemayim. They can't make it into paradise. They can't make it into this covenant. They say they are Jews. They say they are Yahudim, brother Hebrews. They say they are of Yahuwah, but are not. They are the Satan, the synagogue of Satan. So this is not only speaking to those Jewish people that claim to be the real Hebrews, the real Yahudim. This is also speaking to those who pretend to use Yahuwah's name and all that stuff and are not. Verse 10 says, Rumamu Yahuwah, fear none of those things which you shall suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful, be trustworthy unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. He that has an ear, let him hear what the rule says unto the called out assemblies. He that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death. So it is not I that speak, but it's Yahuwah that speaks through me. It's not you that speak, it's Yahuwah that speaks through you. So he that has a ear, let him hear what Yahuwah has to say through you. We're not but a vessel. We're not but the temple of Yahuwah. We're not but a mouthpiece for Yahuwah. We're like the speaker. Is the speaker and the microphone the person, the one that's talking? No, it's the one that's holding the microphone. And then his voice is transmitted through these wires into the system, then through to the speaker. So it amplifies what he's saying. So it makes his voice louder. That's who we are. We are the speaker, the microphone and the speaker. Yahuwah is the one talking through us. We're not but the speaker. I'm nothing but a speaker. But Yahuwah is the speaker. I am the speaker box, and Yahuwah is the speaker. Yahuwah is the speaker, his rule is the microphone, and I'm the speaker box. That's how you can look at it. Yahuwah is the speaker, his rule is the microphone, and you are the speaker box. So again, do not be afraid. Do not look at their faces. Do not be afraid of anyone's faces today when you have to speak the truth, when you have to make a stand for what is right, when you have to say, no, I will not eat pork. No, I will not keep these pagan feast days. No, I will not do this. No, that is wrong. Do not be afraid of their faces. Do not worry about what they will do to you if you should stand up and say, hey, this is wrong. That is wrong. This is what you should be doing. Do not be afraid. Fear not, for Yahuwah is with you. Rumamu Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Abba Yahuwah. Rumamu Yahuwah. Thank you, Abba Yah. Thank you, Abba Yah. So fear not, Kadashim. Fear not, chosen ones, especially in these days. Things will get rougher, things will be harder. Let's jump to the one last chapter, Rumamu Yahuwah. One last chapter, Rumamu Yahuwah. Let's go back to the book of Matthew. Matthew 24. read from verse 4 onwards. This is where the disciples asked about the last days. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceives you. No man deceives you. How can we not allow man to deceive us? How can we prevent this? By their fruits you shall know them. We must test the spirit. Test every spirit. That's what Yahuwah says. We can't take people for face value and what they say. If we go off what we see and what we hear, then we can be led astray. We got to test the person's spirit, test the rule. It's either they have a clean rule within them or they have an unclean rule. How shall you know? By their fruits. Judge, listen, observe, pay attention. So this is how we avoid allowing man to deceive us, by testing every spirit. This is something that we got to do in these last days. 1 Timothy 4 verse 1 says, the rule speaks expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the belief. Why? Because they give in to seducing spirits and doctrines of man. Are doctrines of devil. Seducing spirits. Who do these seducing spirits come through? Do you think they just show up spiritually? No, they show up through different individuals. That's why Yahuwah says right here, the first thing, let no man deceive you. Because these spirits, they need a host, they need a body. The same way the Ruach Hadash is dwelling within us, it's the same way these unclean, deceiving spirits dwell in human bodies. And they will go about deceiving whoever they can deceive, whoever is willing to be deceived, whoever gives in. So this is the first thing Yahuwah says, do not let any man deceive you. That's why he says, test all spirit. I sent you among wolves in sheep clothing. Don't take people for what they say to you or how they look. Anyone can come and say, oh, I'm this or I'm that. Can someone come knock on your door right now and say, hey, I'm a police officer. You need to come with me. No, you're gonna ask for proof. Show me your badge or something. First of all, you gotta look at how they dress. I mean, they can, yes, get these police vests and all this stuff, but you're gonna still need proof. You're not just gonna take their word for it. You're gonna need proof. So that's what Yahuwah is saying. Get proof, because there's a lot of wolves out there that say they are Yahudah, that say they are of Yahuwah and are not. They are deceiving spirits. They're trying to deceive you. So you got to test them. Test them. And then you will see if they are true or not. But so much people today are failing to do this. And that's why they're introducing coexist to us. They don't want us to test no one today. They want us to accept anyone and everyone. As long as the person say they love Yahuwah and all that stuff and they keep the Shabbat, just accept them. Don't test them. Accept them. Don't test them. Don't do nothing. Don't correct them to see what they will do. Just accept them. How would you know if the person is true or not if you don't test them? Because they say they love Yahuwah, or they say they this, or they say they that. You got to test them. One of the easiest ways to identify unclean spirits or spot pride is to correct someone. That's one way you find out, you identify. So Yahuwah is saying, let no man deceive you, test every spirit. For there is much shall come in his name, saying they are Mashiach, they are the Messiah, and deceive a lot of persons. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, do not fear, fear not. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And you shall be hated of all nations for his name's sake. And then shall a lot be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Why? Because you test them. you correct or whatever the case may be. That's, as I said, you presented the truth. That's what you're doing. That's why when we present the truth, especially to those in religion, Christianity, they get so offended because you are correcting them. You are letting them know Sunday is not the day of worship. Or JC, the main one that so much people can't accept is the name. JC is not his name. That's what we do every day. We are correcting each person, and that's why so much persons are being offended. Why? Because they don't want the correction. They don't have an ear to hear what Yahuwah has to say. They want to give in to the teachers that are tickling their ears. They want to please their flesh. They don't want no one to tell them what to do. This is what Yahuwah is saying. So much shall be offended and shall betray one another. Every time you present the truth, you are presenting correction as well, especially to those who are in the wrong. If you truly love that person, then you will tell him or her what they are doing wrong. If you love them and you don't tell them what they're doing wrong, then how can you truly love them? If you know what their destination is, you know that this life, this path, this road that they're on is leading to the pit. If you love me and you don't say it, then how are you helping me? We got to speak up. We got to be bold. We got to be brave in these last days. Yes, when you do speak up, another thing to share as well. Yes, when you do speak up, yes, as the scripture says, so much will be offended. Yahuwah just said in Revelation, let him who have a ear to hear, let him hear. You'll be offended. They will be offended. They will call you fake, liars. They will call you all kind of names, say all kind of words against you. Will experience that. You will experience that. If you're not experiencing that, then something is wrong. You know what's wrong? You're not telling people the truth. You're not telling them where they are going wrong. You're living a coexist, or you're living a agree to disagree life. You don't correct me, I don't correct you. We can get along, we can live. That's not how it works. So much people will be offended, and they shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And so much false prophets shall arise, and shall deceive a lot of persons. And because the transgression of the Torah shall abound, the love of a lot of persons shall wax cold. Man. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be delivered. And this Besorah of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Then shall the end come. Rumamuya. When you therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the Kadash place, the called out place, the separated place. Whoso reads, let him understand. Then let them which be in Yehuda flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything also out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Woe unto them rather that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Shabbat. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be redeemed. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. If any man shall say unto you, lo, here is a Mashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false messiahs, Mashiachim, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Fear not. Fear not. Do not allow fear to continue to cripple you, Mishpacha, and to keep you in the lies, to keep you in the bondage, to keep you from standing for Yahuwah, to keep you from speaking up for Yahuwah. Do not allow fear to do this to you. I mean, we saw this with even Akisha Al, the Apostle Paul, in the book of Acts, chapter 20, where Yahuwah told him to do not be afraid, continue to speak and to stand. I am with you. There is much people in the city. So, yes, the city will rally against you and they will want to lay hands on you. They will want to slay you. They will want to kill you. They want to call you false. All these things, do not be afraid. Do not stop speaking. Continue to speak. Do not allow, because of these people, that you become fearful to not speak the truth. Stand bold and trust Yahuwah, Mishpaka. Yahuwah will take care of you. Yahuwah is with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That's his promise. He has never done it then. He will not do it now. Yahuwah is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change. That's his promise. Yes, you will be unpopular. Yes, there's much that will not like you because you tell the truth. You tell them where they went wrong. You tell them what they're doing wrong. You don't uphold the nonsense. You don't cut the crime. Yes, you'll be unpopular. You will not have a lot of friends, but at the end of the day, you will have Yahuwah. You will have a crown of righteousness. Be bold. Stand firmly for the truth. If you don't stand for something, then you will fall for everything that comes by. You'll be like a boat that's being tossed by the wind, wherever the wind blows, without any form of anchor or steer. I mean, if that boat has a steer, then that person, he can pilot the boat wherever he wants it to go. But if that boat has no steer, nothing to turn it, because it stands for nothing, there's nothing, it will fall for it. Wherever the wind pushes it, that's the direction it will go. You gotta be bold in these last days, Mashbach. If you don't be bold, then you will take on every kind of doctrine and you will take on every kind of persons. You will take on persons that have unclean spirits and that will lead you astray. Be bold in these last days. The enemy does not want you to, but Yahuwah is telling you that you got to be bold. You need to for your own sake. Ruma mu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Fear not, for Yahuwah is with you. Ruma mu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah. Thank you, Abba Yahuwah, for your boldness. Thank you for your Ruach Hadah. And I will all even know that you will continue to pour out your spirit of courage, of boldness upon me and upon everyone else that is standing firmly for your truth, firmly for your word. Ruma mu Yahuwah, that we will continue to speak against every abomination, everything that displeases you. We will speak against it. We will correct. We will stand boldly even in the face of death, Abba Yahuwah, for your sake and for our lives as well. Ruma mu Yahuwah. Thank you, Abba Yahuwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Washam Yahuwah Yahusha, Allahu Yah. Shpaka, if there's a situation in your life that you're too afraid to speak on, if there's someone that you're too afraid to tell the truth, that you're too afraid to correct, if there's in any situation, scenario in your life that fear is holding you back from doing what is right, ask Yahuwah to rebuke, to gahar that spirit of fear, and ask Yahuwah to give you more boldness. Do not allow that situation to control you anymore. Make a stand in Yahuwah. The enemy will try to make it seem as if it is the wrong thing that you're doing. Make a stand in Yahuwah and trust Yahuwah. Yahuwah has your back. When you pass through the waters, he will be with you. Through the fires, he is there by your side. He will make a way in the wilderness. Hallelujah. Barak Yahuwah. To every single one that has supported this assembly, this ministry, Barak Yahuwah. To the for all the likes, the share, the subscriptions, Barak Yahuwah, Ruma Mu Yahuwah. Let us continue to do so in love and in humility. Let us continue to speak against the things of the enemy, to speak against the lies of this world until our time be up, so that we can please Yahuwah and so that we can receive the crown of righteousness, the crown of life, Ruma Mu Yahuwah. And so especially we can see Yahuwah face to face and hear, well done, my wonderful and faithful servant, Ruma Mu Yahuwah. Oh, what a joy that day will be. Continue to speak against the lies. For those who are speaking against the lies, continue to do so. Speak against the lies, uphold the truth, don't cover crime, and just do your best for Yahuwah Yahusha. None of us is perfect. We're striving to be perfect. Pray ye one for another that you may be healed. Pray for each other. Don't make it be about you. Be about everyone. Be about your brothers and sisters. Be about Yahuwah, and Yahuwah will do the rest. May Yahuwah continue to shamar you all, which means to guard you all. And may he continue to barak you all, show respect and favor to you all in all your dwellings, in all the works of your hands, and in everywhere you go. May Yahuwah continue to show favor in your sight. Rumamu Yahuwah. This is Watchman Azar Yahu signing out. And from all those of Yahuwah's chosen people assembly, we love you all. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Rumamu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah, Allahu Yah. Thank you, Abinu Yahuwah. Shabbat Shalom, beloved family. Allahu Yah.